We're very confident of doing that. Down in Limerick, we just don't know. That's the reality. Certainly, if Paddy Donovan wins, and you start looking at the names in the welterweight division, like Ryan Garcia, like Devin Haney, like Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Conor Benn, that's fights that you can go down to Limerick with. But we know we're going to do big numbers in Belfast, and that's where we chose to go.
Jack Catrill's expressed his desire about facing the winner, obviously a matchroom fighter as well. Is that another possibility?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, you always, obviously, if you've got fighters in the division, you would always lend yourself to making an in-house fight for a world championship. So in this situation, I think firstly Conor Benn is definitely looking at the winner of this fight, and of course Jack Catrill, if he's staying at 147, to look at the winner for a world title.
We saw the news this week as well, the Francisco Rodriguez Jr. versus Galal fight. Ruled a no contest, an immediate rematch ordered, no ban for Francisco Rodriguez Jr., but he has to submit to random testing. From my time covering the sport, I've never seen a ruling of that nature. Of you?
No, and to make it even worse, I found out last night that he also failed a drugs test in his last fight, and that was ruled a no contest as well. Because I was sadly scrolling through BoxRec just looking at Francisco Rodriguez, and I noticed that his fight before Galal Yafai was a no contest. I spoke to the Texas Commission, they confirmed he failed a drugs test for that fight. I spoke to Maurizio Suleiman last night, he said he didn't know anything about it. I believe him, but let's just look at this, guys. He's failed back-to-back drug tests on the night, and he's gone 12 rounds with Galal Yafai in a fight that physically damaged Galal Yafai. In 2 weeks, to just rule that it was accidental, he can just come back and have a rematch, is so bizarre. I mean, I've been through that process with Conor Benn. It took 2 years to get a decision. And also, I believe fighters should get the opportunity to explain themselves. But I don't believe that can happen without a B sample in a 2-week time period, and you can just say, yeah, no problem, let's just run it back. So I think now with the news coming out from Texas Commission as well, this could change everything, and I believe Galal Yafai should be installed as the mandatory challenger.
Would you entertain the idea of a rematch?
Sorry?
Would you entertain the idea of a rematch?
It's down to Galal Yafai.
Obviously, a massive rematch in Windsor Park. How long did it take to actually get it over the line with the government and everything else?
They were very supportive, and we really appreciate that. I think they like the opportunity of giving Lewis Crocker the opportunity. Obviously, if we know from a historical point of view, it's the first All-Irish World Championship fight in history. It's in the welterweight division. It doesn't get much bigger than this. So, the Irish FA, Windsor Park, the government all supported it, and we're really pleased to get it over the line.
Is there a line over to Tree Arena, to Croke Park and off that could possibly happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously the Croke Park's significantly bigger, but obviously if we can do it here, why can't we do it at Croke Park as well?
Thank you so much.
The Ali Act, obviously a new revival of it, it's not been passed yet. Obviously, I just wanted to know your opinion on, this minimum wage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did it maybe put more power in promoters' hands?
Yeah, but I don't think we need more power in the promoters' hands. I think we need to respect the fighter, and I think that act is mainly, nearly always there to protect the fighter and to make sure they're not taken advantage of. And I think to try and change that act or get it slung out isn't a good look from a fighter's perspective. Like if I went and I came out to you now and said, by the way, I'm going to abolish the Ali Act because that's there to protect the fighters. I don't want to protect the fighters. I want to do what I want to do at any time. You guys would I'd get so much stick. I mean, and this is really what's happening, kind of behind closed doors, but now it's becoming public. So, the fighters that I've spoke to have certainly raised a lot of eyebrows saying, why are you trying to abolish an act that's there to protect us? And it's probably not a great look.
Yeah. Do you think it's kind of moving towards that UFC model? That's the kind of their first step to do it.
For those guys, it's about ownership and it's about control. And I get it, but it doesn't work like that in boxing. You're not going to operate in a world where fighters do as they're told or do as you think they should do, unless it's fighters of a particular level. And when I look at the recruitment of the league and the fighters they're talking to and the fighters that I know they've signed, they are fighters that would do whatever TKO wanted to do because of the opportunity. For the bigger names, for the bigger fights, they're just not going to do that. And fighters aren't just designed to do as they're told. They have their own brain, they have their own opinion, and they have a team of people that are there to structure the career of a fighter with the promoter.
Eubank Ben, it's on and off. November maybe. What's the latest in terms of?
Yeah, I mean, we got asked by His Excellency, would we be happy to do the event in November? The answer for us is yes. We would have much preferred September, but obviously Eubank for some reason needs more time. I don't think it's been agreed yet or approved yet, but if it came in November, we're talking to a few venues, we would make it happen. You know, we have had a couple of conversations with the PBC about Barrios for Conor Benn. I love that fight. I think he becomes world champion that night, but we'll have to see over the next couple of weeks.
Last one, please.
Eddie, we're expecting an announcement on Dave Allen's next opponent this week. I know you're not going to give anything away, but let's just say hypothetically it was Arslan Bekmambetov. What would you think of that fight stylistically?
I think Dave Allen's mad. That's what I think. I mean, I was in a situation where I gave him a list of names and he chose the most dangerous one, the one that would probably be the most grueling, the most physical, all because he told me he was petrified of him. And I said, why would you choose from a list of 6 fighters the one you're most petrified of him? He said, because I'll be able to train properly. I said, Dave, I've given up trying to understand you years ago, but thank you, because you're going to give us a thriller in October, and that'll be announced this week.
Last quick one, Callum Smith, David Morrell, we know Hirsch bids could be only 20 days away. Have there been any talks with Morell's team?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been talking to PBC as we are about Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, finalising that as well. Callum Smith's up for the David Morrell fight. Obviously, he'd prefer it to be for a world title rather than his interim, but it's a great fight. We're negotiating that fight now with PBC and His Excellency, and hope to wrap up the Callum Smith, David Morrell, and a final confirmation of Subriel Matias against Dalton Smith very soon.
Thanks everyone, cheers.
It's been 12 years since you signed Anthony Joshua, and he also said,
who's that?
A few days ago it was 12 years since you'd signed Anthony Joshua. He said 12 years later he'll throw his last punch with you guys. Is that Anthony Joshua hinting at retirement?
Not really, but it's probably that this is his last year in boxing. And I said that recently. That's not a definite, but it's very likely it could be. But it was more of an appreciation that, you know, obviously we've got a career-long contract with him anyway, but we started with him, we'll end with him, and the end will come.